Okay, so today we're going to look at having variables on both sides. We're going to do the first thing that we always do, we always separate, and I want you to box your variables. Now notice there is an X on both sides. So when you box your variable and draw your line through the equal sign, notice there's a variable on both sides. So what I want you to do is I want you to move the variables, everything with the variable to the left side of the equal sign, okay? So this side is my left, okay, and on the left, I want my variables, okay? So in this case, I want my x's. On the right side, I'm gonna want my numbers with no variables. They're called constants. Okay, that means they do not have a variable, so they're called a constant. Okay, now I've told you something very specific right here. When you, I call it jumping the fence, because like the equal sign kind of looks like a fence. When you jump a fence, you become the opposite. It's just like when we said, it said like +4, the opposite of adding 4 is to subtract 4. So when you jump the fence, you become the opposite. So I'm going to move. I want to move this variable, and it's a negative. When I move it to the other side, I'm going to jump the fence. And when I jump the fence, instead of being a negative, it's going to be a positive 4x. Okay, I'm going to draw my line right there. And then I'm going to move the terms without a variable. They're called a constant to the right side. Okay? I'm going to move, see the 7 does not have a variable. I'm going to move it to the right side. And when you jump the fence, it becomes the opposite. So instead of a +7, it's a -7. Okay? Now, when I did that, when I've moved, this +7 is no longer there. This -4x is no longer there because they jumped the fence. Okay? So now I'm ready to combine like terms. So you see these both have an x, so I'm going to say 2 plus 4. 2 plus 4 is 6x. Bring down your equal sign. And on the other side, I have a -11 minus 7. And -11 minus 7 is a -18. Now, we have one step left. See how the x is next to, the 6 is next to x? That's multiplication. When you what you have left will either be multiplication or division. So remember, you do the opposite. The opposite of multiplying is to divide. So I'm divide by 6, and I have x equals -3. That's how you solve, and you can check it. Remember, you can plug it in. So -3, what I could do is I could go back up, and wherever I see x, I could plug in a -3. I'm just showing that you could do this. You could plug this in your calculator. I could plug it in just like that, and it should come out true, and you can check it. Okay? So let's try. We're just going to go through some examples, and we're going to go through those steps. Very first thing, draw your line and box your variables, because I want you to know where your variables are. Okay, I have an x on both sides. So remember, you want the variables on the left, okay? So I want to move 4x. I'm going to jump the fence to the other side. When he jumps, he's no longer positive. He is now negative. Okay, but when he jumps the fence, he's no longer there. Okay? Now, do I have any constants that need to move? On this side, see, he does not have an x, so I don't want him here. So I'm going to move -7, and I'm going to draw an arrow up here. He's going to go to the other side. Okay? So the numbers with no variables, they're called consonants. Okay? They're called constants. I want to move them to the other side. So when he jumps the fence, he no longer is a -7, he's a +7. Okay? And he goes away. When he jumps the fence, he's no longer on the left side. Now we can combine like terms. So -2 minus 4, that is -6x, equals, and then I have -8 plus 7, which is -1. Okay? And that means multiplication, so I need to divide. And I'm going to divide by the exact same number that's by the variable. So I'm going to divide by -6. Those cancel out. X equals, and then you have +1/6, and that's your answer. Okay, next one. Draw your line, box your variable, look where they're at. Remember, I want my variables on the left side. So I'm gonna move negative 5x, jump the fence, he becomes a positive 5x. So he's gone, okay? I'm gonna go ahead and draw my line. Negative 13 does not have a variable, so I do not want him on the left side. So negative 13 has to go to the other side. So instead of a negative 13, he becomes a positive 13, okay? And he moves. When he moves, he's gone. So now I can combine like terms. Negative 3 plus 5, that would be positive 2x equals, and then on the right side, negative 43 plus 13 is negative 30. The opposite of multiplying is to divide, and you can do the division sign or you can do the var, either one. X equals negative 15. Okay, same thing, even if we have decimals, same thing. So draw your line, box your variables. We're not going to do anything different, okay? Variables to the left. So opposite of a positive is a negative 3x. And I want numbers that don't have a variable on the right. So this negative 1.51, negative 1.5 becomes a positive 1.5. Okay, so he's moved and he is moved. When they're moved, I just like to mark them off, that way I don't get confused. Combine like terms. So this would be, remember, when you don't see a number there, it's like saying that's a 1. So 1 minus 3 is a negative 2. Negative 2x equals, and on the other side, that would be negative 4 and 8/10. And then you divide, so I divide by negative 2. You divide by whatever is by the variable. So x equals positive 2 and 4/10. Draw your dotted line, box your variable, okay. Move the x over. The opposite of a negative is a positive 2x, and he's gone. Move the negative 8 over. Opposite of a negative 8 is a positive 8, so he's gone. So now you combine like terms, so 6x equals 24. The opposite of multiplying is to divide, so you divide by 6, so x equals 4. Draw your line. Okay, now notice, oh, there's a little hitch in my giddy up here. I've got parentheses. Remember, when you see parentheses, you've got to clear the parentheses first. Now, there is no parentheses on the left side, so this does not change. 84 minus 10d just stays the same because there's no parentheses, and I can't combine like terms because 10 has a d. So on the right side, I have negative 6. Remember, this means to multiply. Negative 6 times negative 7 is a positive 42. And then negative 6 times positive 4 is negative 24. And then d, you have to bring the d down. Now we're going to do like we did earlier. I have d over here on the right and d on the left. I want to bring the negative 24 to the left side, so it's going to be positive 24d. When he jumps the fence, he's gone. Okay? I want 84 to go to the other side. So the opposite of a positive is a negative 84. Okay, and now he's gone. So now you can collect like terms. So negative 10 plus 24, that would be 14d equals, and 42 minus 84 would be negative 42. The opposite of multiplying is to divide, so I would divide by 14. So your answer, D equals negative 3. All right, on this last one, I have parentheses on both sides. So I'm going to have to do the multiplication on both. 6 times x is 6x. 6 times 4 is 24. That's by the distributive property. On the right side, 4 times 7 is 28. 4 times negative x is a negative 4x. And you have that equal sign in the middle. Now I look for my x's, and I have an x on both sides, so I have to move. The negative 4x comes to the left side, so that'd be positive 4x. And 24 goes to the right side, so that'd be negative 24. So I like to mark them off, that way it looks better, I don't have so much left. 10x equals 4. And then the opposite of multiplying is to divide. And remember, you always enter from the top down. And when you enter 4 divided by 10, you're going to get 2/5. Don't be afraid to get a decimal or a fraction because not everything is a whole number.